Hey, it's going to be a TNA Impact review for the 28th of May. Sorry it's late, by the way. I'm sure you've grown to expect that from this channel. This was pretty decent, I thought. I'd say this was an above average episode of Impact. It wasn't great. It was actually kind of frustrating is what it was. It was frustrating because the whole wasn't nearly as good as the sum of its parts, because I really felt the wrestling was very good in the show, and I also felt the two main promos, the Sting promo and the Mick Foley promo, were very good. And as I enjoyed both the wrestling and the promos on a wrestling show, in theory, I should really, really, really have enjoyed this show. But, I didn't. I just found it okay. I found it pretty good. And I think that's just because the way Impacts are put together now, the fact that it's a segment-driven show, just really irritates me. That we're going backstage every 2 minutes for some meaningless 30-second segment to catch up with JB or Lauren, who, let's face it, are two of the the least likable people you are ever likely to encounter. How they managed to get a job on TV, I have no idea, but they should be fired, in short. Anyway, a rather pleasant surprise to start this episode of Impact. For once, we didn't start with the 20-minute promo that I've come to both expect and dread at the start of Impact. We actually started with a match. It was between Suicide and Amazing Red, or is it The Amazing Red? I don't know, somebody tell me. Also, while you're at it, why is he called that? Because it's not like he wears like a long red jumpsuit or anything. He just has a bit of red on his trousers. I mean, I don't go around calling myself The Amazing Blue. Although I may start. Anyway, this match is for the X Division title, which I didn't really get, because how is Amazing Red earned an X Division title shot? They just seem to hand those around now. But this match was okay. Really, the problem with this match was Suicide, I felt. I felt he was really quite sloppy throughout this match and ruined what could have been quite a good match. He was using the opportunity of having an opponent who was significantly lighter than him to try and hit some powerful, really impactful offense, but it just looked very sloppy. Red had his moments, a few kicks, a few near falls, but Suicide wins with the Suicide Solution. By the way, Suicide Solution is a terrible, terrible name for a move. Who came up with that? I have no idea. All it can bring into my mind are two things. A, final solution, right? B, suicide is a solution, right? Those are terrible connotations for the name of anything. What were they thinking? But yeah. Then we had a main event Mafia promo. This is the first promo with Sting in charge of the Mafia. And I actually thought this was a very good promo. I really enjoyed it. It kind of explained why Sting's stayed in the Mafia for so long, even though they've been doing evil. Although they've stopped doing evil now by the looks of it. Sting promises changes to the main event Mafia. He says that the Mafia has gone away from its pack to bring honor, respect and dignity back into the business, and over time has become distracted and veered off course. He asks all the members of the Mafia, have they stayed true to the cause, if you like. All sounds a bit cultish, but and they don't meet his eye. And then he addresses Booker T and says, you've let this problem with your wife and Jenna Maraska get in the way of the Mafia's cause. And then he bans women from the Mafia, which I thought was kind of sexist, to be honest. I don't think that should be, an actual rule of the main event Mafia. And then he also gets rid of Kurt Angle's main event Mafia security, Rocco and Sally Boy. They're no big loss to the tag team division, I'd say. And yeah, he's done all that, and then he goes, does anyone have a problem with what I've just done, addressing the other members of the main event Mafia? Instead, Samoa Joe's music plays, and Joe comes out, and he says he's got a problem because one man cannot tame four. That's the job of a nation, which is a nation of one, and therefore should also not be able to tame four, but whatever. Yeah, then Joe says he's been ordered to take out Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner and Booker T one by one till only Kurt Angle's left, And then what's he going to do to Kurt Angle? He's going to kill him. What? Who wrote that? Who thought that was a good idea? Regardless of what happens now, Joe's just going to look really weak. Because, you know, rather than killing him, he's going to deliver a muscle buster. You know, it's ridiculous. Who thought that up? That's a terrible, terrible storyline. Anyway, but yeah, overall I thought the promo was good until this last bit, which was just, you know, from the moon. Who the fuck came up with that? Then we had 4 meaningless segments in a row. We had a segment between Foley and JB, where Foley said there'd been some trouble in meetings between him and other shareholders in Nashville. Then we had a British Invasion promo where they inexplicably put up the Feast or Fired briefcase they stole in an open challenge ladder match. So Doug Williams is putting up his X Division title shot briefcase that he stole from Homicide in a ladder match later in the show. Then we have a segment with Lauren and Jenna Maraska, which basically just ends with Sharmell attacking Jenna Maraska. Yeah, I know, all these segments are totally pointless, but I'm actually telling you them because, you know, that's what this show is about right now, all these pointless segments. And then we had another segment. This one was slightly better. Lauren is backstage, inexplicably excited about the prospect of getting to interview Sojourner Bolt, but thankfully Sojourner Bolt doesn't show up and do a promo, which, you know, I think we're all happy about. Instead, Dr. Stevie shows up and just talks about how he's going to show that he still has power over Abyss later on tonight. Then we have the second match of the night. The British Invasion come to the ring, Doug Williams open challenge ladder match, and Cody Deaner answers the challenge. This wasn't very good to start with. This match actually got a lot better. All of Cody Deaner's matches are hurt by the fact that they're pretending he's not really a wrestler. Why would you do that? I mean, it's just going to ruin every match. So pretty much the only move he does in this is a back body drop. So Doug Williams dominates. Cody Deaner actually tries to steal a win at the start by throwing his jacket at Doug Williams and trying to run up the ladder. Doug Williams dominates for ages. Some really uninventive ladder spots. Cody Deaner comes back into it with a few well-timed back body drops. He's about to climb the ladder and the British Invasion take it away from him. So he back body drops Doug Williams over the top rope onto the ladder, which is held by the British Invasion, which was okay. Then he starts climbing the ladder. He actually climbs it far too quickly and is basically just standing on the top and could easily remove the briefcase, but of course he's not supposed to win the match. Then Doug Williams pushes the ladder, and it's actually quite a good ending, mainly because it's horribly botched, but he tries to crotch himself on the ropes and fails and just ends up spinning off the ropes into the guardrail, which looked quite nasty and quite out of control, which was good, but not for the right reasons. And that's the end of that match. After the match, the Sheik and Kiyoshi come out and they cement their alliance with the British Invasion. Then we have a JB segment with Jeff Jarrett talking about Eric Young and how Eric Young is basically how TNA management has totally mistreated Eric Young over the years and booked him in stupid matches, including that one against Danny Bonaducci, which actually Danny Bonaducci is a real name. I don't know why I did air quotes there. Which, you know, was just terrible for his career. And Jeff Jarrett says, well, anyway, he's getting a shot tonight. Then we have the Dr. Stevie segment that we were promised earlier, where he brings out his friend and patient Abyss. Basically, he says that because Abyss chokeslammed him into the tax at Sacrifice, now his therapy has to start again. And he puts Abyss in a straitjacket and gets a kendo stick out and is about to beat him with it. Lauren comes out, he teases hitting Lauren with the kendo stick. Then Raven comes out of the audience and he teases going to attack Stevie Richards, but in the end just attacks Abyss with a candlestick, and him and Stevie Richards walk off together. Yeah, I don't care that Raven's back. He's quite old now. He was quite bad when he left. Why is he back? You know, I didn't even like him all that much to begin with, but, you know, now he's just a total waste of space. Anyway, turn over to part 2.